Well, everybody, I'm live again. I apologize for that. You should hopefully be able to hear me now. It's saying the Behringer mixer is working. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I closed OBS and OBS just decided that the mixer was no longer valid. And then I stopped the stream, started it again, and it could recognize the mixer. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know, everybody. I'm so sorry. So we have like half hour, 35 minutes of me telling you about comic books you can't hear and talking about Gotham Knights, and I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. I will make sure next time to do a pre and see, like, the Behringer mixer gives me readings, or the mixer gives me any readings. I haven't come across this in a long time. When you said you couldn't hear me, I thought it was something else. And yeah, there was a weird thing where, like, earlier when I was on the very fun conversation for Doctor Strange, it was weird and I didn't have audio, so I had to make a change there. Well, that change did something in OBS apparently, and I was not expecting that. So, again, though, to recap for this truncated version of this show, Grim 1 was really good. Good horror story, neat story of a Grim Reaper losing their scythe and things going bad from there. And Nightmare Country is a good horror slash Sandman world story about the first serial killer who seems to be hunting another serial killer. Again, super creepy because he eats people's eyes. And as Pablo Neruda said, the eyes are the window to the soul. So if you have something that is nourished by eating eyes, it's just really unsettling. Really unsettling. Then we had Gotham Knights. That's right. We talked about a lot in that half hour, so I'm sorry there was no audio for it, everybody. I'm sorry. But we had Gotham Knights. We talked about that. Awesome statue comes with the collector's edition. And I had some more Gotham Knights here, I think, right? Yeah. The deluxe edition. Some really cool Night Watch Jim Lee transmogs, which alter the way the outfits look. I think those are really good. I talked about the Beyond Suit style, how that one scares the hell out of me. But I really do like the Batwing and the Red Hood one. I don't dislike this one. I just think it looks like too machine-like. Like, here to me, I can more easily see Red Hood. I can more easily see Nightwing. This looks like a terrifying, like, Terminator type thing. And it also takes the youngest character and makes him look crazy damn old. So, I'm not a huge fan of that outfit right there. But I think the other three are pretty cool. A lot of people are really turned off, though, by Gotham Knights. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. People are just jumping on a hate bandwagon right now for it, which is weird to me. Like, these aren't issues that people had with the other 2 or 3 previews of the game. All of a sudden, now there's just this hate for it, and it's awful. I don't know. It's not Rocksteady. They're not, and it's not an Arkham game. To me, again, it reminds me a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. Kind of an RPG light experience where you level up and get better gear. That's very much like Assassin's Creed. Although I do think it's a nice amalgam of what the combat was in Arkham as well as Assassin's Creed. I don't think it's just one or the other. I think it's kind of a mixture, it looks like to me. But yeah, it comes out October 25th. I'm really hyped for it. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be awesome exploring Gotham. And they also made it sound like there's going to be random crimes going on in Gotham, similar to what happened in Spider-Man. the Spider-Man 2018 game, and I think also the Miles Morales one, just has like random crimes going on, and you can stop those, and you can get like the equivalent of experience points for doing that, you know, and that's fun. It's fun just to tool around that universe and just do that stuff. There's also a pre-order bike. There's a special bike skin that looks pretty nice, actually. I believe it's the one they showed us first. So it's the one I like more than the one they initially showed that Red Hood was riding in the preview. Or maybe, you know, it might have been Nightwing. Might have been Nightwing on there. Red Hood turns out to use soul energy to hop around buildings. Okay, you know, I'm fine with that. I mean, you have Robin apparently using the Watchtower and teleporting. So if you're going to allow that, you might as well, you know, tie it into Jason Todd and Red Hood and the supernatural aspect of Red Hood. So, yeah, I've got no issue with that. Now, we're going to talk about... Yeah, it was some weird issue with the Behringer not showing up. I had to unplug the Behringer and plug it back in, and even that didn't work until I stopped and started. It didn't know to feed the whatever it was, the data or whatever it needs, until I stopped and started the entire stream. But at least I'm able to salvage some of it, and right now I'm doing kind of a catch-up to let people know what we covered. So right now, everybody, before our final review, we're going to look at books that come out next week. So, get ready. First off, we have A Little Love for IDW. Look at that sexy bastard right there. The Rat King. TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Best of the Rat King. Now, why am I showing you this? Two reasons. I want to show some love to IDW, right? And yeah, here we go. This is exciting because of Armageddon Game. There's a big comic event for IDW and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and apparently Rat King is a huge piece of Armageddon Game this summer. So that's why they released this, Best of Rat King. And this actually covers different publishers and everything. So like for only $6, you're going to get some of the best stories involving the villain, the Rat King. And look how terrifying in that picture. Like that's nothing at all like the karate looking dude from the kids cartoon. Like that looks like Nosferatu right there. That's pretty intense. But yeah, that looks pretty cool, and I think for $6, it'd be a nice little primer for Armageddon Game, in that Rat King is supposed to be quite important in it. So we got that. That comes out next week. Then we have, from DC Comic Books, get ready for this one, everybody. Batman 89 number 6. First off, look at that gorgeous artwork. Look at this right here, everybody. Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. Look at that. Michael Keaton Batman. Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. Okay. And here we actually introduce Robin. Here's the cool thing about Batman 89 you may not have known. It was written by Sam Hamm, who wrote the actual Batman script from 1989. He's the screenwriter. So they got him to follow up with like where he thought things would go. But after Batman Returns, and here we go. This is his idea of what Batman 3 would have been. Now, I'm not really telling you all to run out and get issue 6. I just wanted to show you this awesome cover, and in only a couple months, you'll be able to get a rather affordable hardcover, I think it's $24.99, of all 6 issues. So I don't recommend you run out and get issue 6 and then try to get issues 1 through 5. That would be incredibly expensive. At this point, I'm just showing this to be like, hey, the trade is coming out. It's going to be rather affordable, And this is a good story. I'm up to date on this. It's really good. And if you're a fan of 89 Batman, either Batman or Batman Returns, hopefully both of them, I think you'll really dig this. I think this is really cool. But again, I'd focus on getting the trade hardcover, which I think comes out in June. I think that's June, because I think that was the previous previews. And the current previews right now is covering July. So, yeah, I think it's June this comes out. I'd have to double check, though. So we have that. And now, it's not always going to be issue ones. You know, it's not always... Thank God, Doom. Doom, it was a mixer issue. It wasn't picking up the mixer. I had to completely shut the stream down and start it again. I unfortunately didn't know. But from now on, I'll be doing an audio read before I go live. And again, I am sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. So I did a recap saying, hey, these are the reviews. I did a recap of Gotham Knights. So we have a semblance of a show. We're going to have a truncated show, but it gets the point across, I think. So there's that. Anyway, this book here is very exciting to me. Immortal X-Men, issue 1, was an insane X-Men story with Mr. Sinister as our point of entry, narrating. And as you know, he's an unreliable narrator, so it was pretty awesome. And like, he's mocking people. He's like, I'm smarter than this person. And then all of a sudden, someone's smarter than him. And he's like, I wasn't expecting that. It is hilarious and well done. And still dark and kind of creepy because it's Mr. Sinister. Yeah, issue 1 was great. And I'm wondering if each issue is going to be narrated by a different X-Men. Because what you found out is the X-Men are basically, well, mutants are immortal. Basically, almost positioning themselves as gods, which will take us into Axe, which is Avengers X-Men Eternals. That's the big Marvel event this summer, everybody. And you can check that out at your local comic shop with Axe 1 or Axe 0, I think it is, for free comic book day. Some shops have that in. So definitely check that out. But that's going to be massive. Anyway, getting back to this. Maybe this will be Storm narrating, you know? Maybe this will be... Is that Magneto? I can't tell. I think that's Magneto. He was involved in the story, so that might be him. It's hard for me to tell on that cover. But maybe it'll be narrated by different mutants. I don't know. But my hope is it's still Mr. Sinister. Because let me tell you, it's very entertaining when he's your point of entry to a story. When you have to rely on Mr. Sinister as the storyteller. It's pretty great. But yeah, Immortal X-Men, awesome. Also, X-Men Red, issue 2 should be basically a barn burner. It's revealed at the end of issue 1 of X-Men Red that Storm wants to reform the Brotherhood of Mutants. And it sounds like she wants to lead it and basically tells Magneto that. What could go wrong there? What problem could there be there? But yeah, a lot of these recent X-Men books have been great. Like, I mean, it used to be to me, like, there would be like 1 or 2 X-Men books and it'd be like, okay, you're good. Now there's probably about 3 or 4 that I'd say are just phenomenal and must reads. So there you go. Do we have any questions at all for books you want me to read or review or anything like that? To recap, I will say, though, that not too heavy with books next week. Like, there weren't a lot of, like, you know, oh my God, you need this books. But these are good books. And for me, I do need Immortal X-Men 2, because 1 was so good. Again, the whole 89 Batman thing, though, I would just say get the hardcover. I think it's June or July or something like that. I think it's June. But yeah, I would just wait and get the hardcover. Don't try to play catch up with 6 issues at like $4 a pop. Just get the hardcover. In fact, you know what? That's regular price. I don't know if they're all at regular price. You're probably not going to get that pricing. I don't know. Aside from an insane technical issue, I think things went okay. I mean, it was a pretty insane technical issue, let's be honest. Not having audio for a half hour, yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Now, the previews for July, again, the big book I'd recommend is Chip Zdarsky's Batman 125. So that's a huge thing. Chip is coming over from doing a lot of Marvel books and taking over Batman. So, very exciting. I want to say there's 6 covers. So, yeah, it's going to be a big event. It's going to be huge. And then also, too, the Gothic opera for Detective Comics, written by Ram V, the current writer of Venom and Carnage. 2 separate books, Venom, Carnage. But yeah, that should be pretty wild. A take that, no one's done in, 80 years? Roughly 85 years? Well, so yeah, Batman is really big in July. Something to look forward to. But yeah, are there any books anyone suggests that I should review or anything like that? Or any questions? Do we have any questions? Any suggestions for upcoming episodes besides having the audio working? Any suggestions besides that? Because let me tell you, that one I'm going to be very cognizant of. Very cognizant indeed. Hopefully after this audio fiasco, Doom lets me do another show next week. Hopefully you'll see me next week. What does Kratos say? Oh my god, should I do it like that pop song? Boy, 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 oh boy. Boy, 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 boy. Like that? Is that what you wanted? Oh, don't be sorry, be better. Oh, okay. I thought you meant boy. I completely misread what you meant. But yeah, any questions, any suggestions for next week or any future episodes? This will be interesting because, I'm going to try going live as soon as I can on Twitch for some gaming at 10 p.m. Central, everybody, if you want to come check that out. But it might be a little bit later because I'm going to have to reach out to Doom and see, okay, what do we do about the episode without audio? Do I erase that? Do you want to erase that? How does that work? Hey, I sincerely doubt it'll happen again, okay? Like, I will do an audio check a half hour before I even go live. I've even started working on the 2 days before the episode to actually get stuff ready, like these pictures and everything like that. So, some of the stuff's a little difficult to get because Previews doesn't fully update to the next week until Wednesday. So you're kind of working with an unfinished version of Previews, but it's usually doable. It's been doable 6 weeks I've done this. So yeah, the only thing we have, everybody, is just to finish with a figure profile. And today we have, hopefully Spring sees this. I hope that Spring can see this, because we have, that's right, Wanda. Now, this is the WandaVision figure. As of right now, I don't believe they actually have a Multiverse of Madness Wanda for Marvel Legends. I don't think they do. I'd have to double check. But that may be, in the second wave. Without ruining everything for people that don't want the spoilers, even though I was part of a very fun and spoiler-filled talk show today about the movie. There's probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 different figures they could put out, including like a box set with extra parts and awesomeness for a specific character. But yeah, right here we've got Wanda. Trying to show that to you with less glare. It's a good figure. It looks a lot like Elizabeth Olsen. She has like magic coming off her arms. She has the exposed shoulders, so it's a little bit different than the one in the movie. But as far as I know, this is the only one that's available with this, kind of look to it. So, yeah, I think it's a great figure. I like it a lot. Marvel Legends has really stepped up their quality. And I think companies like Mezco and Hot Toys kind of forced them to be honest with you. But yeah, I really like this. The great thing about this is it's in the $19.99 price range. The Hot Toy, I want to say, is $260. So it's a huge price difference. Like we're not even talking minimal price. We're talking craziness, Now, don't get me wrong. The detail's amazing, and those are 12-inch figures. Depending on the height of the character, maybe 10.5, 11. But what I'm trying to get at, it's in that scale versus 6-inch. But I think for a really good depiction of one of the characters in the MCU, for $19.99, you're not going to get, much better. Now, real briefly, before we end, there's been one thing that's been upsetting collectors. They're getting rid of plastic and packaging. You might have seen it with the Batman figures, like the larger ones. There's like exposed packaging. So like you can see the character, there's like little like twisty ties around them. You can't remove them from the packaging, but there's no actual plastic over the packaging. And they've been doing this now for about 6 months to a year with a number of different toys, a lot of MCU-based toys. And the pictures they showed for, I think, the Marvel Legends Venom and King in Black Null set, as well as other Marvel Legends sets coming out, I believe are boxes now. So they're trying to get rid of using plastic for the packaging, and a lot of collectors aren't thrilled by this because you don't know what the paint job is going to look like. You don't know exactly what the final sculpt is going to be like. So I totally get that, but I don't see an option otherwise, Unless they create a new kind of paper that works like a plastic and lets you easily see through it and still have artwork on it somehow. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could use, acetate, I think, is a type of plastic, isn't it? So that probably wouldn't fix it. Oh, well. But yeah, that's kind of a thing in the collecting community right now, and some people aren't happy with it, but I just don't see a way around it. We're trying to reduce usage of plastic. Plastic has become more expensive because of the cost of fuel. That would just make the toys even more expensive if they were to use plastic. Plus the companies, are trying to preserve the environment. There's, I don't know. I don't know a way around it. But yeah, that's just something to think about with future, like, the Marvel Legends I just showed you had that window. Well, in the future, I might show you one that's just, a box. Be like, this is what it's supposed to look like, But yeah, what I have to say though is Marvel Legends has a pretty darn good quality team. Very rarely do I see one that's like really screwed up. You know, terrible paint job or something like that. Very rarely. So everybody that watched this, I appreciate it. Again, truncated because half hour to 35 minutes had no audio. I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you next week, hopefully, with another episode. But yeah, seriously, thank you everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, you know, this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. And I'll flex again for you next week. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.